It was the kind of morning that stuck to your skin, humid, heavy, and filled with the buzz of oil-stained engines and shouted orders. In the corner of Royston Auto Works, where rust and sweat clung to every surface, a 17-year-old girl stood quietly, her fingers twitching beside a half-disassembled carburetor. Her name was Ellie Rivera. She was the daughter of Miguel Rivera, the shop's most loyal and underpaid mechanic. Miguel had hands like gnarled oak and a heart twice as big. Every day, Ellie waited in the break room until her father finished his shift. But that morning, something changed. The engine in Bay 4 was groaning like a wounded animal. None of the men could figure it out. The shop's foreman, Carl Dugan, a large, gruff man with a permanent sneer, barked curses as sweat dripped from his brow. "I told you, Miguel. The girl's not supposed to be out here," Carl shouted when he spotted Ellie inching closer. "She didn't touch anything," Miguel said quickly, wiping his hands on a rag. "She's just curious. She's a girl. This isn't a damn classroom or a playground. You want her to get hurt poking around things she doesn't understand." Ellie's cheeks flushed, but she didn't move. Something about the engine's rhythm, it wasn't right. Like a song missing a beat. She tilted her head. "I think the timing belt's off," she said softly. The shop went still. A mechanic dropped a socket wrench. Carl burst out laughing. "You think the timing belt's off? That's rich. Did you read that in Auto Repair Monthly for teenagers?" The men chuckled. Miguel looked at Ellie, unsure. She had grown up around engines, always curious, always asking questions. But this was different. This was bold. "Just let her try," said a quiet voice. It was Thomas, the shop's oldest mechanic, usually silent, a ghost in the corner. "Can't hurt more than what you've already done." Carl rolled his eyes. "Fine. But when she fails, it's coming out of your paycheck, Rivera." Ellie stepped forward, trembling. Her small hands moved quickly, methodically, as if led by instinct rather than memory. Within minutes, she adjusted the tension, rotated the crankshaft manually, and paused. "Try it now," she said, stepping back. Carl scoffed but turned the key anyway. The engine roared, clean, even like it had never been broken. Silence swept through the garage, followed by stunned murmurs. "Impossible," Carl muttered. "That engine's been a mess for days." Ellie didn't beam or gloat. She just looked at her dad, her brown eyes shining with quiet pride. But the story doesn't end there. Word spread. Videos were taken. A local journalist picked it up. Teen girl stuns mechanics by fixing engine experts couldn't. Within a week, a community college offered her a full scholarship in automotive engineering. A Women in STEM nonprofit flew her to a conference in Chicago. But Ellie stayed grounded. What people didn't know was that she had almost given up. That morning, she'd overheard her dad whispering to her mom, worried about bills, about being unable to send Ellie to college, about feeling like he had failed her. "I just want her to have more," he had said. So when Ellie heard the broken engine, she didn't act out of pride. She acted out of love. Out of a daughter's desperate wish to lift the man who had carried her dreams on his back for 17 years. Carl, for all his bluster, changed too. He never apologized with words. His pride was too thick for that. But he started treating Ellie with respect. He even brought her into the shop twice a week to mentor under Thomas. Months later, as Ellie stood on a small stage in a community center receiving an award for youth innovation, she didn't talk about being a girl in a man's world. She didn't mention the foreman or the scholarship or the headlines. She simply said, "I fixed that engine because I love my dad, and because when someone believes in you your whole life, you start to believe in yourself too." The crowd rose to their feet. We often think change comes with grand gestures or big opportunities. But sometimes, it starts in a greasy auto shop with a girl, a broken engine, and a father's quiet sacrifice. Because when compassion fuels determination, even the smallest hands can do the impossible.